Hey cozy companions, welcome back to the channel. Now, picture this. A snowy night, a crackling fire, and you, all bundled up under a warm blanket, sharing unforgettable winter moments with someone special. Sounds magical, right? Well, today we're diving into not one, but *2 enchanting stories that'll make you feel like you've stepped right into a winter wonderland. The first is all about those peaceful, heartwarming cuddles we dream about during chilly nights, while the second takes us on a thrilling adventure where even the frost has secrets to share. Trust me, you don't want to miss a single moment of these tales. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button if you're ready to get cozy, and subscribe to join our little storytelling circle. And hey, drop a comment below. What's your ultimate cozy winter vibe? All right, let's jump into the warmth of our first story and let the magic unfold. Cozy winter cuddles with your boyfriend. Snowflakes danced and swirled on the other side of the frosted window, the world beyond blanketed in silvery white. Inside, however, the scene couldn't have been more different. The room glowed with the warm, flickering light of a crackling fireplace, the faint scent of pine and cinnamon lingering in the air. Tucked beneath a patchwork blanket, you leaned into the comforting warmth of your boyfriend, who had his arm draped casually but securely over your shoulders. Can you believe how much it snowed overnight? You asked, your voice softened by the calm of the evening. He chuckled, his voice a soothing rumble against your ear. It's like the world outside decided to wrap itself in a giant blanket, just like us. Pulling you a little closer, he adjusted the blanket so your feet were fully covered. Though, lucky for me, I've got the better deal. This blanket isn't nearly as nice as cuddling with you. You laughed, swatting lightly at his chest before settling back into your spot. The rise and fall of his breaths felt almost hypnotic, matching the steady crackle of the fire. You're cheesy, you know that, you teased, but the soft smile on your face betrayed that you didn't mind. Cheesy? Oh no, he said, feigning a wounded tone. How will I ever recover from such a cutting insult? He quickly retaliated with a playful squeeze around your waist, making you squirm and laugh despite your best efforts to stay calm. Stop, you protested between giggles. I'm trying to be cozy, not tickled to death. He finally relented, though the grin on his face suggested he wasn't entirely sorry. Fine, but I make no promises for later. Outside, the wind howled briefly, shaking the windows, but you were far too comfortable to feel chilled. The two of you fell into a gentle silence, save for the occasional pop from the fire. You could feel the snowstorm's presence, almost like it was wrapping the world in stillness, leaving just the two of you in your little cozy bubble. You turned your gaze towards the small table next to the couch, where two steaming mugs of cocoa waited, topped topped with marshmallows, slowly melting into sweet clouds of foam. "Want some?" you asked, nodding towards the cups. He followed your gaze and smiled. "Of course. Who says no to hot cocoa?" Reaching over, you grabbed one of the mugs and handed it to him before cradling your own in your hands. The first sip was like heaven, silky chocolate warmth that spread through your chest and chased away every lingering chill. "This," he said, lifting his mug in a toast, "is the perfect way to spend a snowstorm." You clinked your mug gently against his. "Agreed. But wait until you see phase 2 of my winter storm plan." His eyebrows shot up in interest. "Oh, there's a phase 2. With a grin, you leaned over to grab something from behind the couch. From the corner of his eye, he glimpsed a bundle of items, but before he could react, a fluffy pillow landed squarely in his lap. "Phase 2, you declared with a mischievous grin. "Pillow fort construction." His face lit up with mock seriousness as he set his mug aside. "A pillow fort, huh? You do realize I'm an elite architect when it comes to fort building, right? Prepare to be amazed." For the next 20 minutes, the two of you transformed the living room into a whimsical maze of cushions, pillows, and blankets. The old plaid couch became a foundation, while the coffee table was repurposed as a cornerstone. With string lights draped artfully along the structure, your fort glowed softly, a haven of magic nestled in the heart of winter. Once the fort passed his structural integrity test, which mostly involved him dramatically crawling inside and declaring it perfect, you both settled back down amid the coziness. He had dragged a few more blankets inside, and you leaned back against one of the couch cushions, completely enveloped in the softness of it all. "I told you," he said, with a triumphant smirk, and his arm resting around you once more. "Pillow fort genius." You rolled your eyes, though your smile never faltered. "Okay, I have to admit it's not bad." As the fort radiated soft light from the string bulbs, you felt a sudden pang of gratitude for the simple joy of the moment. The sound of the storm outside, the warmth of the blankets, and the presence of someone who made you feel like the luckiest person in the world. It all combined into something truly perfect. "I wish winters could always feel like this," you murmured, half to yourself. He turned to look at you, brushing a strand of hair gently away from your face. "They can, you know, as long as we're together." His voice was quiet but filled with sincerity, and for a moment, the world outside the fort seemed to pause altogether. You reached out, fingers intertwining with his, and rested your head against his shoulder. "Okay," you whispered. "Deal." The two of you stayed like that, wrapped in warmth and the magic of a winter's night, as the snowstorm continued to spin its gentle spell outside. the safety of your cozy fort, the crackle of the fire and the rhythm of your hearts became the only thing you needed to feel completely, unquestionably at home. Wow, wasn't that first story just like a steaming mug of cocoa for the soul? Nothing beats those intimate moments when the rest of the world feels so far away. But what if a winter's night held more than just cozy cuddles? What if it drew you into a world of mystery, adventure, and the unknown? Buckle up, because our next story takes a snowy twist that's equal parts chilling and exhilarating. Let's dive right in and see what's waiting out there in the frost. Cozy winter cuddles with your boyfriend, ASMR. The frost clung to the edges of the windows as the winter storm howled outside, battering the tiny cabin nestled deep in the snow-covered wilderness. You pulled the oversized knitted blanket tighter around your shoulders, sinking into the soft cushions of the couch. The scent of cinnamon and firewood filled the air, wrapping the room in warmth despite the icy chill outside. Your boyfriend, Liam, sat beside you, his arm draped around your shoulders, his fingertips grazing your sweater in slow, comforting circles. "This is nice," you said softly, leaning into him as the wind pushed harder against the cabin walls. His voice was a low rumble, designed almost for moments like this, cozy and soothing. "Yeah, I could stay like this forever," he murmured. But forever wasn't in the plan, not tonight. Because under his calm exterior, you could feel a certain tension radiating through him, like a string pulled just a tad too tight. And then, as if on cue, there it was, a flicker at the edge of your vision. The lanterns, glowing softly in the corner of the room, dimmed for the briefest second. The flames in the fireplace wavered strangely, though there wasn't even the faintest draft. You pulled away slightly, glancing up at Liam. "Did you see that?" you asked, your voice barely above a whisper. His arm tensed around you for just a moment before he softened again, giving you a reassuring squeeze. "It's probably nothing," Liam said, though his eyes darted to the fireplace, that tiny spark of vigilance you'd come to recognize lighting up inside him. Liam had always been a little different. He had a knack for stepping into the peculiar and the unexplained, like he was tethered to another layer of the world that slipped past most people. But this time, you were here with him, and you were starting to feel that strange otherness creeping in, too. As the two of you sat in silence, another flicker caught your attention. This time, it wasn't the lanterns or the fire. The windows frosted over suddenly, icy tendrils spiraling across the glass like claw marks. It was beautiful, but something deep in your gut told you that beauty isn't always harmless. "Liam," you said, your voice sharper now, more insistent. He followed your gaze to the frost-covered window. His brow furrowed as he leaned forward, his breath misting in the chill that seemed to seep into the cabin. "I was hoping this wouldn't happen tonight," he admitted under his breath, so quietly that you almost didn't catch it. You turned fully to him now, clutching the blanket around you. "What do you mean, this?" He stood, walking toward the window, but you could see the muscles in his shoulders tighten under his sweater. "It's hard to explain. I thought we'd be safe this deep in the woods, especially with the storm. But if it's found us..." "What's found us?" You were on your feet now, though you didn't recall moving. Your voice cracked slightly, a mix of fear and frustration, and he turned to you with an expression that was both apologetic and protective. Before he could answer, there was a loud asterisk crack outside, like an ancient tree splitting clean down the middle. It reverberated through the cabin as if the sound itself carried weight. Both of you froze. "It's not safe here anymore." Liam grabbed your hand, his fingers surprisingly warm, anchoring you in the growing unease. His calm voice betrayed no panic, only urgency. "We have to leave." "You're kidding me," you said, staring at the door. Snow piled high against it. It would take a miracle just to push it open. "You can't be serious. In this storm, we don't have a choice." His eyes softened for a moment as they locked with yours, steady and reassuring. "I'll explain everything later. Just trust me." And you did. Of course you did. But as he tugged you toward the door, pulling thick coats off hooks along the way, you couldn't help but feel a knot of both dread and anticipation tighten in your chest. He opened the door, and the blizzard greeted you like a wall of icy chaos. Wind whipped snowflakes into stinging pinpricks as you let out a gasp, clinging to Liam's hand for dear life. Together, you trudged into the storm, your footprints vanishing almost instantly behind you. The forest was a labyrinth of frost and shadow, the towering pines looming overhead like ghostly sentinels. Liam moved with purpose, as though he knew exactly where to go, even though everything looked the same to you, just an endless stretch of white and black. "What are we running from?" you finally asked, unsure if your voice carried over the roar of the storm. "The frost warden," he said grimly. It's hard to explain, but it guards something in these woods, something it believes I shouldn't have." You stopped dead in your tracks, forcing Liam to pause and turn back to you. "Wait, what did you do, Liam?" His expression was sheepish, but there was a hint of that familiar mischief in his eyes. "I may have borrowed something important last time I was here. For a good reason, I promise. But the warden doesn't care about reasons. And you didn't think to mention this earlier," you asked, incredulous. The storm was getting stronger now, but even over the wind, you thought you heard something else, a low, resonant hum that seemed to vibrate the very air around you. I thought it wouldn't find us," Liam shouted back, tugging you forward again. "But if we can make it to the cave—" A shadow moved in the blizzard. It was tall, impossibly tall, and it moved with an unsettling grace, like it wasn't affected by the storm at all. That hum grew louder, setting your teeth on edge. "Run!" Liam's voice was urgent now, as he practically dragged you through the snow. Your lungs burned with every breath of icy air, but adrenaline kept you moving, your feet barely managing to keep up with him. The shadow pursued, closing the distance with terrifying speed. You didn't dare look back, but you could feel its presence pressing down on you. Colder than the snow, heavier than the wind, just when your legs felt like they would give out. Liam pulled you into a narrow crevice between two hills. The world seemed to still for a moment, the howling wind muffled by the rock walls around you. He pressed a hand over your mouth, his own breathing shallow as you both crouched low. The shadow passed, slow and deliberate, its hum fading slightly as it moved deeper into the woods. You didn't know how, but you both stayed. And just like that, our time in the snow has come to an end. But what a journey it's been. From the warmth of quiet cuddles to the thrill of the unknown, winter holds a little something for everyone. So, which story spoke to you more? Are you all about the cozy vibes, or did the mysterious adventure give you chills in the best way? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed today's stories, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more adventures, whether they're warm and fuzzy or full of magic and mystery. And hey, check out some of my other videos for more tales to brighten your day. Stay warm, stay cozy, and I'll see you in the next one.